Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar Learn How to Dominate Your Market, Become a FSBOs and Expireds Expert with your MAPS coach, Jackie Kravitz. Please note this webinar is being recorded and you will automatically receive the webinar recording. If you have questions for your coach, please type them into the questions box located in your webinar taskbar. Following the webinar, if you have any questions about today's call or coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack@kw.com. That's fasttrack@kw.com. All right, that's all for me, Jackie. Go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Jasmine, so much. And thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your busy schedule with real estate and all the holiday preparations to be on this call today. We're going to spend the first 30 minutes. I am going to share some information with you, some scripts, some strategies and tools for you to maximize your ability to dominate your market by becoming a FSBO and expired master. And then for the last 20 minutes, this is going to be a 40-minute webinar. The last 20 minutes, Jasmine is going to convey to me any questions that you may have that you type in, and I'll answer your questions in the last 10 minutes. We're going to start by having you write this down. As obvious as this may sound to you, I'd like you to write this down. The only purpose of lead generation is to set appointments. All of you, if you signed up for this webinar, you know that lead generation is something that Ed Keller Williams, Gary Keller, Bold, Diana, and all of your coaches and every single coaching opportunity that you're involved in, you know the lead generation is the foundation of your business. And you hear us at MAPS talking about lead generation all the time. I am a Bold coach, and I know that you are Bold graduates. In Bold, we give you a goal of lead generate and make 20 contacts per day. A contact is defined by speaking with a decision-making adult about buying or selling real estate. That is what lead generation is about. And the truth is, and you know this, unless you are purposeful about lead generation, consistent with your lead generation, you are going to end up like the average agent in the United States selling a handful of homes a year. You're a Keller Williams agent, you're a Bold agent, you understand the importance of looking for people who want to buy and sell real estate every day. That's what lead generation is about. And there are many different ways to go about that. Certainly you know that having your METS database is critical. It's a foundation of your business. That database of past clients, sphere of influence is critical. And yet, the second most important thing that you can do after getting this database in place and placing them on a 36 touch, it's to reach out to people you don't know. This METS database are people you know, past clients, sphere of influence. What about the people you don't know? There are a lot more people in your marketplace that you don't know than the people you know. So in addition to that database, let's set that aside, critical foundation. Now let's look at all the people that you don't know. There's certainly a lot of opportunities of who you can contact during your lead generation in regards to people you don't know. And the single most important one that you want to master in order to be able to set appointments, qualified appointments, go out and take listings every day, are FSBOs and expireds. Write this down. These are high impact calls. FSBOs and expireds are people who want to sell. As Diana says, they've raised their hand for sale by owners, have their house for sale. They don't have an agent yet. Expired listings have had their property on the market with an agent for several months, in most cases 6 months. The house didn't sell. These are motivated sellers, no matter what they tell you. They may sound unmotivated. They may tell you they're not selling anymore. They don't want to pay a commission. they can sell themselves. These are all objections. You're talking to high impact calls. There is no better source of immediate business than mastering FSBOs and expires. This is where you can call people in the morning. First contact, never spoken with them before. And you can turn this into an appointment, pre-qualify it on the spot, and by the end of the day, you could have a brand new listing signed. There are thousands and tens of thousands of agents doing this around the country every single day. You can do it too. And remember, as it says on your screen here, the only purpose of lead generation is to set appointments. And we know that what you focus on expands. You're not lead generating to make contacts. You are not lead generating to get leads. You're not lead generating to be on the phone or door knocking for 2 to 3 hours. You are lead generating to set appointments. If you're focused on appointments, you'll get appointments. You're focused on contacts, you'll get contacts. If you're focused on leads and you believe that you're going to end up with leads, well, guess what? You are going to end up with leads. I want to share a quick success story with you that actually just happened in the last few weeks. Just yesterday, we had the Bold graduation of the Bold in St. Petersburg, Florida. And one of the agents in that Bold room, this is the 8th time that she's taken Bold. And this is a great agent. She's a top producer in her market center. She has a successful team, and yet she never works expired listings. And during this Bold, because obviously I'm passionate about FSBOs and expires, I build my entire business around FSBOs and expires, and I know what great leads and opportunities of immediate business these are. She was inspired during this last Bold that we graduated yesterday to start calling expired listings. And actually, one of the weeks in Bold, she was out of town. She wasn't calling anyone. She really didn't start calling expireds, I believe, until the 3rd week. So in a period of 3 weeks that she took on this challenge of calling expired listings, she already listed on the market for sale 2 expired listings. The first one is $750,000 in the mid 700s, the price of this expired listing. And the second one, I don't know exactly the price. It's a waterfront property in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm pretty sure it's either the same or more than the first one. And this is someone who never called expireds before. And she's now so excited about what this is going to do for her business next year. I've had agents in Dominate Your Market that never called FSBOs and expireds before. And while they're in this program, which is a 12-week program, they take their first expired and FSBO listings to the tune of, within the first month, second month of the program, 5 FSBOs and expireds when they had never listed one before. So FSBOs and expireds are short-term leads. I want you to write that down. Short-term leads. Now, we know the goal of lead generation is for you to set appointments. And in order for you to set appointments and go out and take listings, yes, in order for you to take these seller listings, you have to set the appointments. You have to go on these appointments. And in order to set the appointments that you can go on, lead generation is at the core and foundation of all of that. You gotta prioritize your lead generation. You have to. Because in step 2 of Bold, we share with you the law of forced efficiency when we talk about time and self-management. Since we know time and self-management is such a huge challenge in real estate. And the law of forced efficiency says there's never enough time to get everything done. And I'm sure all of you would agree with that. I don't have time to get everything done. No one has time to get everything done. And yet, we always have time to get the most important things done. And who decides what the most important things are? You do. And we know that your one thing in your real estate business, your one thing is to look for people that want to buy and sell real estate every day. Lead generation. Look for people who want to buy and sell. You have to prioritize that as your most important activity or task every single day. And when you give it the priority that it needs to have, you will find the time. As Gary says, you'll design your day around your lead generation rather than procrastinating your lead generation, doing everything else and leaving your lead generation for last. You can make a fortune listing FSBOs and expireds when you prioritize them. I already said all this. No better source of immediate business, high impact calls, and they are available in every single market and in every single market condition. Now that most markets in the United States are experiencing a shift has already started. You will have even more expires, obviously, because in a shifting market, properties are going to take longer to sell, and we're going to have a lot more properties not selling, so you're going to see an increased number of expired listings. And of course, for sale by owners in a shifting market, definitely not selling, have no idea what they're doing. So you're going to see more and more FSBOs and expires take advantage of these opportunities. Expired listings, new expired listings, relist their property within 48 hours. These are immediate business. Expireds are immediate business. They are not long-term leads. Expireds are not people that you follow up on for weeks and months. Absolutely not. Think about this. If you have 10 new expireds a day in your marketplace right now, or 20 or 50, half of those properties, within 48 hours, they're back in the MLS with someone. Why not you? And if you want to be the one taking those listings, you have to create urgency for yourself, and you have to be aggressive in getting a hold of these expireds as soon as possible. You don't call them the day after they expire, because I'll be honest with you, when I look at my business, because I've always tracked my numbers, I had a coach from a few months after I got a real estate license, and I was listing about 150 FSBOs a year. Starting my fourth year in real estate, I closed 100 transactions my fourth year, all FSBOs and expired. So I was listing already my fourth year, probably 130, and then started listing 150 a year, combination of FSBOs and expired. About 70% of every expired listing that I took, I listed them the day they expired. Some of them, 30%, I'd have to follow up for a week, 2 weeks. 70% of them, same day. It's so empowering to know that you have the skills and the ability to do that. More than anything else, you have to have the discipline to call expired in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, the day they expire, and learn what to say and how to say it, so you can turn those contacts into appointments immediately, pre-qualify them while go on and list these properties. So one of the most important skills in connecting with these new expireds, they're not happy people, okay? If you wouldn't be happy either if you had your house listed for 6 months with an agent and the house didn't sell. And they're not happy. And they have a mindset that all agents are the same, that agents don't do anything. And so one of the most important skills that you're going to have to work on and develop in order to master these new expireds is the skill of mimicking and matching, or in bold, you learn mirroring and matching. First step to bold, you learn mirroring and matching. And in Dominate Your Market, not only are you gonna learn how to mimic and match effectively so that you can create immediate rapport, which is an affinity on the phone, so that they will open up and stay on the phone with you and give you an opportunity to get them excited about the fact that you can sell this property. Mimicking and matching is the number one skill to build instant rapport with people you don't know. And when you call an expired that's angry or frustrated, you're not in rapport. They're frustrated, they're upset, so there's a disconnect at that moment. Effective mimicking and matching will get you in rapport instantaneously. And then the other, let's call it a skill, speaking confidently. Their house didn't sell. They're discouraged. They think all the agents are the same. And if you call them and you hesitate. So let's think of hesitation as the opposite of confidence. When you hesitate because you may not know exactly what to say or how to handle their objections, your hesitation translates to them as a lack of confidence. Confident people don't hesitate. And as Diana, in one of actually the last video that you watched in bold of Diana, personally speaking, which is your bold graduation, Diana says on that video, when you act confident, you'll be confident. Just as, and she says, when you watch Mo Anderson's video and she says, when you act enthusiastic, you will be enthusiastic. When you act confident, you'll be confident. If you graduated bold this week or you've taken bold before, you remember Diana says that confidence is a choice. Now, obviously, the more knowledgeable you are, the more confident you'll be. I've learned from Diana many years ago that knowledge equals confidence. And this program, Dominate Your Market, is going to give you confidence because you're going to learn exactly what to say. You're going to learn the sales skills on how to say what you say, and you're going to be more confident. In the meantime, act confident and you'll be confident. And that's a critical skill in order to engage these expireds in conversation. Now, let's talk about FSBOs for a minute. 80% of for sale by owners list their properties with an agent within 3 weeks. A higher percentage lists with an agent, period. In the 90s, 80% do it in a very short period of time. Within 3 weeks of getting their house out there, as a FSBO put a sign in the yard or putting the house on the internet, they've hired an agent because when they start day one, they're very confident. If you've ever called a for sale by owner, they think they got it all figured out. They don't need an agent. They sold it themselves. They're not going to pay a commission. They got it all figured out. And within 3 weeks, they've signed a contract with an agent. The property is in the MLS. So obviously, you can see that FSBOs are also short-term leads. Short-term. Don't buy into their story of, well, I'm not in a hurry. If I don't sell it, I'll rent it. I don't have to sell. I can stay here. Whatever they say, they sound unmotivated. You know why they sound unmotivated? Because they don't think they need you. They don't want to list with an agent. They don't think they need to list with an agent because they think they can sell the property for the same price that an agent can sell it for. So I don't need you. They might have had a bad experience with an agent in the past. So they don't need you. They don't want you. They have a negative mindset around agents. So, of course, they're going to say, I'm okay. I'm good. I don't want to pay a commission. I can sell it myself. It's a smoke screen. Every FSBO wants to sell their house. Don't buy into their lack of motivation. People in the right state of mind don't put their house for sale if they don't want to sell it. Okay, that is my mindset. I'm not going to believe anything they tell me that they have the house for sale. And I am confident that hiring me is the best financial decision they can make. If they don't hire me, they're making a mistake. That's going to cost them a lot of money. And when you have that mindset and the skills to back that up, you'll be unstoppable. In Dominate Your Market, we're going to teach you the scripts, the dialogues, give you the stats so you'll have that confidence. FSBOs will list the property with the first agent who can show them the value in paying a commission. Think about this. They're selling on their own to save money. I mean, it's a financial decision for them. They think they could do the same job that you can do and they won't have to pay you. Okay, so if I thought that I could sell my house for the same price that an agent can sell it for, I'd be doing it myself too. So they're doing it to save money because they don't see the value in what real estate agents do. And I understand why they don't see value. Just look at not any of you on this call, just look at what the average real estate agent does and the results that they produce. No wonder homeowners think that they could do what real estate agents do, because they have not worked with you yet. They haven't experienced the level of customer service and the results that great agents like you produce. They're looking at the average agent out there. Of course they can do what they do. So by showing them the value in what you do, I believe they'll hire you immediately, in no time. So here are the 4 steps to handling FSBO and expired objections over the phone. Step 1, you have to listen intently. Yeah, they're going to give us a lot of objections. I'm not in a hurry. I don't want to pay a commission. I'm not selling anymore. I have a friend in real estate. I am going to relist to the same agent. I'm going to wait until after the holidays. I don't care what the objection is. When you hear an objection, Diana says, you learned this in bold in the step where we talk about handling objections, step 4, I believe. Diana says, don't get in your head thinking about what to say while they're speaking. When they give you the objection, listen intently so you can do step 2, which is repeat and approve. How are you going to be able to repeat and approve effectively without listening intently? If you're not listening, your approval is going to sound like this: great, excellent, fantastic. Yeah, that's not repeat. That's an approval word. It's not enough for them to feel like you're actually listening to them. And this is how human beings operate. If they don't feel like you're listening to them, they're not going to listen to you. And repeating and massively approving effectively makes them feel like you heard them and you understand them. You may not agree with them, you understand where they're coming from. And when they feel like you've listened to them, they'll listen to you. Until then, they're going to be focused on repeating the objection over and over again until you listen. So repeat and approve. And number 3, ask a question to get their attention. And number 4, close. Notice that there is not a step here for handling the objection, because over the phone, you don't want to handle the objection. Your goal is to set an appointment. Go handle the objection in person. So questions to get their attention. Let me give you a couple of examples. There's some here on the screen. Take a picture of this, okay, quickly, because I'm going to switch the screen in like very short time here, so you can copy this later. If there was a financial benefit for you to list with me or work with me instead of selling on your own, would you consider it? And then you close. Let's go ahead and meet, and then you could decide what's best for yourself. If I can show you how I can put more money in your pocket, net, bottom line, after my commission is paid, wouldn't it make sense for you to at least hear about that so you could be absolutely sure you're not leaving any money on the table. If there was a better way to get your house sold, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? Let me come by for just 30 minutes and show you exactly how I can do that for you. Would 3 o'clock work today? Would 4 be better? With a for sale owner, what is more important to you? Is it to sell the house on your own, or is it to net the most money? Well, obviously I want to net the most money. Exactly. And that's the very reason why I'd like to sit down with you for 30 minutes and show you how I can do that for you. Would 3 o'clock work? Would 4 be better? And here are a few others for you. So go ahead and take another picture. If you were absolutely confident that your house would sell, would you put it back on the market now? This is for an expired that says, I'm not selling anymore. I'm going to wait until next year. I'm going to leave it off the market. And there's some other closes there for you. So quickly take a picture of that. We're moving forward. Now, so dominate your market, right? It's a FSBO expired program, 12 one-hour calls. It's a 3-month program. We have the week of family reunion off. We have a few weeks off, a couple of weeks off here and there. It's 30 or 3 months, I should say, 12 one-hour calls. So they're weekly calls. The next starting date is Friday, January 18th. The calls are going to be at noon Central Time. I'll be live on those calls. We do a lot of role playing. Last 10 minutes of every call, we have a Q&A, so you have an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have. The calls are all recorded, so you'll be able to listen to them over and over as many times as you want, because I know most of the time, when I role play on the calls, you're not able to write down everything that's being said. You're listening. So then you could go back and listen to the recording and transcribe those role plays. You're also going to receive a workbook for the program. You're going to receive scripts and objection handlers and closes. You'll have access to all of that material. And at the same time, when I role play on the calls, as you know, if you've ever called FSBOs and expires, they don't always follow your script. So I start on the script, and then I hear an objection, and then you're going to hear in action, listening, repeating and approving, ask a question, closing. Diana says 5 closes. Get your chances of getting a yes up to 80%. So you're going to hear the role plays, which are not always exactly, and most of the time not how the scripts are written word for word, because when you listen intently, you respond to what is being said and you're not scripted. You'll have access to those recordings and role plays. You'll actually be set up in an online portal where you'll be able to communicate with the other agents that are also taking Dominate Your Market and set up role plays with those agents that are learning exactly the same thing you're learning and working on the same skills, which is a great benefit of being involved in a program like this, being part of the community of the agents and working on all of these skills. Now, as a holiday special, Jasmine shared with me before this call started today that MAPS is offering 20% off the $297 price. So that's approximately $240 off the full cost of $297. And since you registered for the webinar, you'll be receiving a link to the registration that offers you that discount after the call today. So look at your email for that. And Jasmine, if you're ready, I'm ready for some questions, if anyone has any.
Great. So we do have quite a bit of questions. So I'll start off first from Cindy. Did a listings presentation occur with your new expired listings?
Yes, absolutely. So let me try to understand the question, Jasmine, and you help me with this, see what you understand. So the question is, the new expired, when you call them the first day, set an appointment? Did I actually do a presentation? Is that kind of what you got from the question?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And walk away from that listing presentation that same day with a signed listing agreement. 70% of the expireds I listed within the first day walk away from that presentation with a signed contract. So yes, absolutely possible.
And then the next question is from Ryan. He asks, what type of dialer do you recommend for FSBOs and expireds, Mojo, RedX?
Yeah, we don't, maps and myself as a maps coach, we don't recommend any specific dialer. As you mentioned a couple of names there are several others that are available. We don't recommend anyone, so you'd have to do a little bit of research and contact them and decide on which one you want to use. I personally, when I was selling real estate, I never used a dialer. I dialed the numbers manually, one by one. So that's obviously a possibility as well. Yes, Jasmine, what else?
Awesome. So Colt asks, what is the first thing you say to them when
Okay, so
talking to FSBOs?
okay, so I'll give you the first line for an expired, a new expired, and the first line on the script for a for sale by owner. By the way, if you've taken bold, go back to step 2. You have bold scripts there for expired. Step 3, you have FSBO script as well. So with a new expired, I'll give you my favorite opening line. They answer the phone. Hi, this is Jackie, of course, mimicking and matching. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. I noticed that your house came off the multiple listing system this morning, and I specialize in selling houses that didn't sell the first time, and I'd like to meet with you for just 30 minutes and share with you what I do differently to get houses sold in today's market. Would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? Notice there's a close right there, first line out of my mouth, okay? For sale by owner. Ring, ring. Hello. Hi, this is Jackie. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. I noticed that you have your house for sale, and it looks like you're selling it yourself, right? I'm giving you a call today because I work with a lot of buyers and sellers in the area, and I'm just calling to see how things are working out for you. And then let them tell you, oh, I'm doing great. I just started, whatever it is. Okay, from there, you're going to pick it up. First opening line for both. What else, Jasmine?
Awesome. Colleen asks, what's the best way to handle the objection from FSBOs when they say, well, you can bring me a buyer and I'll pay you 3%, but I'm not hiring you as an agent? And how do you handle the
Okay.
follow-up when they don't want you to come by and view the property or talk to them about working with buyers?
Okay, so there are two questions there, right? Okay, the first question is, how do I handle the objection of, I don't want to list the property, bring me a buyer and I'll pay you 3%, okay? So I'm going to repeat and approve. So I'd say, Jasmine, I hear what you're saying, and so ultimately you're not interested in listing the property right now, and at the same time you're willing to cooperate and pay a commission should I have a buyer for your property, right? And they're gonna say, yeah, that's right. And so, and Jasmine, I appreciate the offer. It's a very fair offer, and I'll definitely keep your home in mind. Let me ask you. Okay, here's a question to get their attention. Jasmine, if I can show you a way where I can, so, okay, hang on, let me back up for a minute. So before I ask the question, I would say, so in essence, Jasmine, you're willing to pay a 3% commission to a buyer's agent, and in essence, you're looking to save the other 3% that it would cost you to hire me, right? So I'm breaking it down. We're not talking about 6% anymore. Now you're willing to pay 3, so you're looking to save the other 3% that it would cost you to hire me, right? And so now here's the question. If I can show you a way, Jasmine, where I can more than make up for that difference in commission that you're looking to save? Would you consider working with me? Well, what do you mean? How are you going to make it up? You charge a commission, they're going to say whatever they say here. So I would say it like this: Jasmine, let me come by, or Colleen, let me come by for just 30 minutes and show you what is it that I do that ultimately will allow you to walk away from the closing table with more money than if you were to find your own buyer. And then at the end of our meeting, you can decide what's best for yourself. I have some time today around 3 o'clock, or would 4 be better for you? So I'm not really going to address that objection. I know that by hiring me, I would more than be able to make up for the difference in commission they're looking to save, and more than make up for the entire 6%. I have that confidence, and I want to sit down with them and show you what is it that I do. Okay. How I would, and now the second part of the question is, how do you follow up if you're not able to set, or what's the follow-up system if you're not able to set the appointment on the first call with them? Call them at least twice a week. Remember, 80% of them list within 3 weeks. You cannot wait a week to follow up with them. You got to be talking to for sale by owners at least twice a week. And every time you call, the conversation is, you could ask if they're doing an open house. You could ask how the open house go, or has anything exciting happened with the sale of your home since we last spoke? I love that as an opening line for a lead follow-up with a for sale by owner. And then what do you say to them when you follow up, right? It's the same thing you would say on the first call. There are different ways of saying it. If there was a better way to get your home sold, wouldn't you at least want to know about it? You could use some NAR stats. According to NAR, for sale by owners nationwide sell on average for 16% less than the homes that are listed and sold by agents. Let me come by and meet with you for 30 minutes, and I'll share with you why and how I'd be able to actually sell this property for you and net you more money than if you find your own buyer. With 3 o'clock or today, it will be better. It's the same conversation every call. Okay, it doesn't sound repetitive because you're not going to be using all of these closes on any given call. And there is no reason why you should have the mindset of following up with a FSBO in the first place. Okay, their house is for sale. They may not be open to listing right now because they don't see value. You show up and you're able to convey the value that you offer, and they will hire you. So don't have this mindset that you're going to have to follow up, because whatever you focus on expands. If you're thinking that you're going to end up with leads, that's exactly what you'll end up with. What else, Jasmine?
All right, so a lot of people are asking, how do you get the contact information for FSBOs and expireds? And if they are on the do not call list, is mailing them okay?
Yeah, so if they're on the do not call list, I'd recommend that you go to the door. Of course, you can mail something to them. Going to the door is your best option if they're on the do not call list. And again, with the same question, or the answer will be the same as the question on what dialer to use. We don't recommend any particular service. There are a lot of different services available they'll provide you phone numbers for FSBOs and expireds. We don't recommend any specific one. And you can do some research on your own too online. There are a lot of free websites. It's just time consuming. There are a lot of numbers out there. So you have to figure out which service is best for you. Do not call, go to the door.
Awesome. And then someone else asks, I'm an ISA setting appointments for my boss. She requires all sellers and buyers to come into the office to meet with her. My sticking point for FSBOs is how to get them to want to come into the office. So does all this really only apply for agents who will go out into the house?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think this having FSBOs come into the office, you have to have a strong value proposition. It's all about value. And I believe the same conversation of the value that you bring to the transaction, the fact that you can benefit them financially. When you speak with them, if you have a strong belief in the services that obviously your team provides, and they get excited about that, they'll come in to hear how your team and how your services can benefit them. I don't see any difference in you requesting them to come into the office. It's all about them seeing the value, and the value, the conversation is always the same. How are they going to be able to net the most money possible?
All
What else
right.
do we have, Jasmine?
So that pretty much covers the questions. Um, so we're done for today.
Sounds good. Anything else you want to share about the link? You told me they'll be receiving an email. Will that happen today?
Yes, so everyone who attended or did not attend the webinar will get a recording of the webinar today, as well as a link to register for the full program if they would like.
All right, perfect. Sounds good. Thank you again, Jasmine. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Dominate Your Market January 18th. I look forward to working with all of you. Thanks and happy holidays, everyone. Bye-bye.